we got great memories going over to Russia, and at the time, it was supposed to be exhibition, but it turned out all with such seriousness and two countries, and I think that it gave the Russian people an idea of what Canada was all about and what a free world was all about. There were 3,500 fans over there, and it opened the eyes of most Russians, I think.
You still feel a big connection with these guys?
With the
teammates.
With the teammates and also with the Russians. I've been over a number of times, and the last time we were over there, I believe my wife and I went with Jean Chrétien, the prime minister at the time, and we had a dinner at Luzhniki Arena, right where Paul Henderson scored his goal, and there we were, with Chrétien and my wife and Putin, sitting at the same table where we played hockey years earlier. So it was a memorable time, and this series, there'll never be one like it.
I know a lot of people look at Phil's speech after Game 4 as a turning point in the series. What did that speech mean to the players?
Well, I think it gave us a feeling that we never got support where we should have, but that happens in hockey. Often that'll happen, and Phil was upset at the time and let everybody know it, and that's fine. And we all went back together, and we went to Sweden. We had trouble in Sweden. I don't know if you recall all that went on in Sweden, but we overcame everything, and it was a great win for us.
I know you touched on it being an exhibition series at the start.
Yes.
At what point did it turn from an exhibition series
First game. I think the first game just shocked everybody. We were not prepared. We took it too lightly, and it showed, the Russians just walked right over us. Yeah.
Frank, how did this compare to a Stanley Cup?
I don't know. Stanley Cup was completely different. This was kind of an all-star game with all-stars and a series of all-stars. So it was unusual. You're playing with fellas that you were playing against most of the time, and it's just like an all-star game that you were grouped together with different players, and it was different. And we had a hard time adjusting to it. Very difficult.
What is your memory of Paul's goal?
Well, I was on the bench, and Paul was sitting beside me, and it was near the end of the game, and my brother was on the ice, and Paul is screaming. He's screaming like a madman, and I'm wondering what's the matter with him. He was yelling at Pete to get off the ice so he could jump on. Pete came off. Henderson jumps on. Pete looks at me. He says, "What's the matter with him?" And I says, "I don't know." Boom! He scores the goal. And that's how quick things happen. And that's what I remember about Paul's goal.
That goal happened 40 years ago. Do you ever get tired of talking about it?
No, and it's vivid memories. When Al Eagleson was being taken away by the Russian army, and my brother jumped over the ice, he was tying his laces, and I said to him, "They've got Eagleson and they're taking him away." He says, "Where?" I said, "By the penalty box." Without even thinking, he just jumps over the bench, goes over the boards, over the glass and everything else. I don't know if it's in the movies or not, but raises a stick at the army, which no one ever does in Russia or Moscow. It's insane. And sure enough, the soldiers don't know what to do. They just step back. Eagleson jumps over the boards, comes and sits beside me, and he's white as a sheet. And I said, "Just sit here and you'll be okay." And he was. It turned out all right.
We all know the scene on the ice when the team won and you had the series won. What was it like in the dressing room? What was it like in Russia that night?
It was excitement all the way along until we got home. All the way home, it was all excitement. We went to Czechoslovakia for a game after that, on the plane, and we were still celebrating. We couldn't get over it. The game in Czechoslovakia didn't mean as much, and we were still celebrating.
A couple nights from now, the team goes on to Canada's Walk of Fame. What do you think?
Yeah, that's great. That's quite an honor. I think it shows how important that series was, and to honor the team the way they are doing it, I think we're very appreciative.
Did you have any idea at the time how big
No,
this win was?
no, we didn't have any idea how it was going to turn out. You know.
At what point did you get a sense of how historic this was?
Over in Moscow, you know, in Moscow, you got that feeling. With 3,500 Canadian fans there whooping it up, and it was getting more important as time went on.